Hi, my name is Jeremy Jacobs, and I am the CEO of FitnessRepairParts.com. Welcome to our series of training videos on our inventory management system. If this is the first video on our inventory management system that you are watching, I would encourage you to go back to the very first video in the series and begin there. The videos are laid out in a specific order to help you build on a foundation of best practices and how to organize your warehouse space and your parts on the shelf. If you've already watched those, then let's jump in. In this video, we are going to cover the remainder of the functionality, at least as it exists now in the inventory system. This should get you pretty much up and running, and we will obviously be making additions and changes, bug fixes to the system as it gets adoption and it grows. So there may be future videos that address new functionality, but as of right now, this should about cover at least the functionality that is available at launch for the inventory system. So we've really got three things left to cover that's in the launch functionality. That's going to be move, adjusting and selling items, and then part lookup. So we should be able to cover those reasonably quickly. At the start here, we're going to talk about moving items. Probably the most common scenario you're going to have with the need to move an item is going to be from the shelf to a tech truck. This is a use case that you may or may not choose to use. Some organizations will want inventory on the trucks so they know which parts have been moved from the shelf to a particular tech truck, or maybe trucks in general. That's going to be a decision that you have to make, whether or not you create those locations for trucks. But that's going to be probably the most common case for moving. Now, you may also want to move items from one shelf location to another. Maybe you discover that the same part is on two separate locations and you want to move them to the same location so that they're inventoried together. As we talk about trucks and truck stock, a couple things to consider. You're obviously going to want barcodes for the locations for the trucks. One thing you could do is use a clipboard, not even put a piece of paper on it, just print off your barcode locations and just stick them straight to the clipboard. Maybe you've got 4 different techs and 4 different trucks, and you want to be able to, grab the clipboard that's by the front door and scan parts to move them from the shelf to a particular truck stock. Another thing you could do would be bins like this, where you've got a barcode on the front with the bin location that belongs to truck A or tech A or whatever, and you want to scan the part. You're going to move it to the bin, and you're going to scan the bin. Now it's in the truck location and no longer on the shelf. The other possibility is maybe a set of shelves near your front door where the techs walk out, or back door, whatever door it is, and it's just shelving like this with tech locations where they come in and grab their parts. So a bunch of different ways to handle truck stock. You probably don't want the barcodes on the trucks themselves. I mean, you certainly can do that. Walk the part all the way out to the truck or the van and scan it in there, but probably something in the warehouse is a little more appropriate and easier for your warehouse/office staff to manage. So jumping into the software here, on the home page, you've got move functionality. You go ahead and click the move, and you're going to start by scanning the part number that you want to move. So let's say it's this part here. We're going to go ahead and scan it. It's going to list the locations that the part is currently in, and you can either select that or you can scan the shelf location that it's in. You're going to want to list the quantity in that you're looking to move. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 in there, and then you're going to scan the location that it's moving to. So again, if you were moving it to a bin, you walk the part over to the bin, grab the part off the shelf, walk it over to the bin, drop it in the bin, scan the bin. In this case, for ease, I'm just going to scan this other shelf location here, put any notes you want to enter, and then go ahead and hit move. Now the part is moved. So Pretty simple to move product from area to area in the warehouse, if you're moving it in the warehouse, or to truck stock or any other location. Maybe you do some shipping and you want to move it to a shipping bench. Who knows? So as we went over in the location module, you can create locations at will for any purpose that your business deems necessary. Next, covering adjust cell. If you're on the mobile site or on the desktop, go ahead and click that adjust cell icon. And the purpose of adjust cell is either adjusting items out of inventory. Maybe you lost it, it got damaged, who knows, but there's a reason to adjust the item out of inventory. That's what we're going to use adjustment for. Or more commonly, you sold the item to a customer. So it obviously needs to come out of inventory at the time of sell, or when the office staff is processing paperwork the next day, whatever that looks like for you. So we're going to go to adjust cell. The default reason for adjustment right now is adjustment. We may actually make that change to make it sold. That's probably going to be the more likely scenario, but select whatever reason you want. It will be documented, so if you want to look at the records later and see why items left your inventory, you'll be able to see and distinguish between items that were sold or adjusted out. So I'm going to go ahead and click sold, because that's going to be more common. And most likely you're going to be doing this from a desktop. Office staff is going to be typing it in based on paperwork from the prior day's work. You can, in the part number field, go ahead and scan a part. And it will accept that. But again, if you're selling it, you probably don't have the barcode in front of you. So enter in the part number, and it's going to give you a list of locations that the part is in. And you can go ahead and select one of those. You can't adjust or sell out of a location that it isn't already in. So it has to be in that location. And you're going to want to enter the quantity in that you adjusted and put a note. This is, of all the note fields that you may or may not use in the system, this is the one I would highly recommend you use. Notes, if you're sold it to a particular customer, you may want to note work order number or the customer that was sold to, so that if you wonder where that part went 6 months from now, it's in the notes. This was sold to XYZ customer. The date is already going to be entered when you enter this in. So go ahead and type a note in here and then hit adjust cell, and you should be good. One additional note on being able to track what is happening to your inventory later. We are going to be very soon adding some functionality for looking through all of the movement logs in your system. So you'll be able to look in your system and see when items were put in inventory, were moved from inventory, and kind of track the movement of those parts through time, so you can know exactly when parts came in and when parts left and why they left. Now that we've got all the inventory in and we know how to move it and adjust it out, obviously the main reason for an inventory system is to be able to look up and see if you have parts or not. So from the home page, we're going to go ahead and click Part Lookup, and it's going to take us to this lookup page. By default, in stock only is checked. You can uncheck that if you want, but in general, you're probably only looking to see if you have a particular part in stock. You can type in a manufacturer part number, a part name as a start if you want, but it is not necessary. You can just type in the manufacturer part number if you have it. It does have to be a complete manufacturer part number. It will not do partial matches. I'm going to type in a part number here that's next to me. And hit search. And it's going to take me directly to that part. If it finds more than one match, it will give you a list of the matches. That would be pretty rare, but If you happen to look up a part number that belongs to several manufacturers and you didn't type in a manufacturer name, it would give you a list of the matches instead of taking you directly to the part. But now I'm on the part page, I can see the location it's in. There is a movement records for this individual part. So if you're curious about a particular part and when it came in and when it left, you can go ahead and click movement records there to look at that. And obviously you're already on the part page, you can print more barcodes, things like that. But if your tech is out in the field and they want to look and see, do I have this part in stock, so they can inform the customer, hey, I'll be right back. We'll be back in a couple of days. We have this part in stock, or we've got to order from the manufacturer. This will enable them to look up parts as well as your office app to look up those parts. One additional thing that the system will allow, while it won't allow partial part numbers, it will allow you to just type in a manufacturer name and enter nothing in the part number field, and then just hit search. It will list everything that you have in stock for that manufacturer if you happen to have a need to look at all of that information. Hey, we're glad that you've chosen to at least experiment with our inventory system and are going to try and get this set up. Thanks for watching this series of training videos. There's going to be an email address at the bottom of the screen. If you need support, technical support on getting this set up, please send us an email and we'll try and help you as best as possible as we get this thing off the ground. We know there's bugs probably and some improvements, and we're working hard to make it as excellent as possible. So please reach out and let us know what we can do better. We want to help all of the service providers in the country get organized with their inventory and be able to serve their customers better. So thanks for watching along.